Today was a crazy ass day for boxing. Today was such a crazy day, man. You already know what it is, man. I'm gonna analyze what just happened today and just speak about my opinions and what I think. I think first of all, before we get into what Benavidez did, what Inoue did, I think we gotta talk about poor old Kazuto Yoka not able to become a fifth weight world champion. Unfortunately, he was not able to become Japan's first fifth division world champion, or five division world champion, I should say, in order to clear it up. However, Takuma Inoue's little, I think brother, I don't know if he's a little older. However, put on a great performance, knocked down Ioka two times. What a performance by Takuma Inoue. Just it's just sad though, really. When you see legends in the sport, when you see people that you admire and they don't live up when they're old and it's clearly time for them to retire or to just give up the sport altogether. I think Yoskas he's had an amazing career. However, he looked like a robot in there. It was crazy. I mean, Takuma was just outboxing him, hurt him multiple times in the second and third round. Ultimately got the decision. Very, very easy. Very, very easy to say who won the fight. And ultimately, Ioka was not able to get his fifth division. However, he's a good career. Fourth division world champion is more than well enough in these days. Then we move on to, I believe it was the Kang Wang. He put on a very, very good performance though for what was I forgot the kickboxer's name, man. Oh my god. I just so much happened today. It's just insane. However, the Kang Wang put a good performance for himself. However, ultimately it should have been a tie. Maybe even won the fight. However, I'm not mad at this other result. Then the main event, we got Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue fighting for the undisputed 122-pound titles, with Inoue winning 116-112 on two of the judges' scorecards while winning 115-113. That fight was masterful. I mean, if you're trying to introduce someone to boxing, you will not give him that fight. No, I'm playing. You can give him that fight. It was a very intellectual chess match between two masters of the sport. I mean, you had Inoue adjusting and then Nakatani adjusting, and then both of them were adjusting at the same time. I would say though, however, Nakatani did look a little gun shy in the first few rounds. He was filling out the jab, he was filling out the power of Inoue. He didn't really seem to want to take the first step, however, to really make the fight a fight. I think Inoue, with him winning 116-112, I believe that some of those rounds were some of the early rounds where nothing was happening. It was just feel out rounds. So what I would say is that if these two end up having a rematch, I believe that Nakatani, but his best interest would be to start out earlier. He's already felt him. He was already felt him out, so he just needs to capitalize on what he knows, and where the power is coming from and stuff like that. And then during the middle rounds of the fight, Nakatani really got his rhythm. I believe that during rounds, I believe it was after either 7 or 8. 8, 9, 10, I believe it was Nakatani's rounds. I mean, he was masterful in there. I mean, he was making Inoue miss. He was hitting him clean, consistently punching him, adjusting to what Inoue adjusted to. And honestly, he got into a flow until the headbutt in the 10th round. So what I would say for that is that it was unfortunate that happened. However, Southpaw Orthodox happens all the time, so you can't really get mad at that. It's an accidental headbutt. And then it cleared the 11th to 12th round. For me, ultimately winning 116-112. I had it 117-111 for the prediction video, so I was near there anyway. However, would I like to see a rematch? Hell yeah, I would like to see a rematch. That was a good fight. It's amazing because I see many people saying online that he doesn't deserve a rematch and that Nakatani didn't do enough. I feel like he did. He surprised me, quite honestly. I thought he would crumble under the pressure. I saw him feel that for the first few rounds. I thought he would crumble under the pressure and ultimately get knocked out to the body. That didn't happen at all. Instead, he lived up to the hype, he adjusted, and he won his rounds dominantly. I mean, you can give him 8, 9, 10 for sure. Maybe 11. I don't know. No. That was Inoue's best round. My fault. You can give him some of the early rounds. But ultimately, he made a good performance of himself, and you cannot be mad at that. And to say that a rematch is warranted is not underestimated. I mean, a rematch would serve families across the world. It's insane. And ultimately, I think Inoue would want that fight too. I mean, it was big. 55,000 at the Tokyo Dome. Are you kidding me? They sell. Two of Japan's greatest boxers ever going at it. We need to see that fight again. That's just my personal opinion. Moving on to, what was it? I'm going to skip Eggington versus whoever because that wasn't really like the focus, so I'm gonna skip on that. I didn't really watch it, to be fair. Now I'm gonna go to Benavidez versus Zurdo, and before I get to the good stuff, we gotta talk about Munguia Resendiz, man. Munguia put a hell of a performance. I mean, that was incredible. His movement, his punch selection, his accuracy, his power, the way he was able, even his head movement, his defense was so much better compared to the Saras fights. Even in the second Saras fight, it looked like Munguia was just trying to coast and get the decision. Even in the first Saras fight where he got knocked out, he just made a mistake for 1 second. That's all it cost. And even then, back to the Bayesian fight, I believe it was. That was the last true good performance before today. But against Resendiz, he put a good performance of himself. I mean, it was masterful. To win the WBA super middleweight champion, masterful performance. Resendiz had no answer to it. He couldn't adjust. He couldn't cut off the ring. He got his moments. He won his rounds. He won 1 to 2 rounds in my scorecard personally. However, I believe that Munguia's work with Eddie Reynoso has really helped him out. I mean, he had some of the same head movement that Canelo has. He also had some of the same punch selection. He had uppercuts. He had left hooks. He had everything in stock. I mean, he was just pulling out his bag. To be fair though, I mean, Resendiz wasn't upset of the year, so you could have said that, it might have been the right opponent, right time, right opponent for Munguia to get a world championship back. However, he genuinely looks better. He looks improved. And I would give him a chance against, say, Hamza, and Billy, who else? Who else is a champ? I forgot. Blanking right now. However, I would give him a good chance against all the other champs. Uh, Obviously, Munguia's not perfect. He did make mistakes in the fight. However, hell of a performance. You cannot say anything bad about it. Now, moving on to what might have been the hey, my goat Zurdo, man. Yo, he got devastated. It was yo, we don't talk about that. Nah, chill. We don't talk about that. Yo, 6-round knockout is crazy. I mean, like, yo, I thought it was gonna be decision game. I know Benavidez was like that, bro. To be fair, I was lucky a big hater of him. But then he knocked out my goat Zurdo, bro. Shit's unwarranted. Shit's not called for. Nah, but truly though, Benavidez masterfully knocking out Zurdo in the 6th round. Insane performance. I mean, in my prediction video, I said he was going to win the decision. I thought he would coast, honestly, because I thought Zurdo would be too big, too strong in order to get knocked out. Benavidez proved me wrong. He really did prove me wrong. I mean, from his past performances at 175, 168, I assumed the power didn't carry. And I'm going to still say the power don't carry. The fuck? I'm going to still say that shit. However, his speed carried. That's what carried. His speed carried. His IQ carried. His defense carried. He has very good head movement. It's very subtle, but you can't really hit him clean. And Zurdo was having trouble with the range all night. I mean, inside range, outside range, even middle range. He was getting dominated in every range. Hand lead battles, Benavidez won that. He won the jab battle too. Zurdo pressured. He was trying to pressure, but unfortunately, Benavidez was able to fight off the back foot, fight off the ropes really, really well. Ultimately, get the stoppage in the sixth round after Zurdo's eyes swelled to the size of a baseball. Now, for what's next for Benavidez? Ultimately, you have to either give him Bivol, Beterbiev, or Jaya Pataya at 200. He put a very, very good performance of himself. Ultimately, I thought that Zurdo should have fought Pataya first for 200 for the unification before the IBF stripped him. However, that's just my opinion. With Benavidez not being unified at 200, he has a variety of options to look at. He has the whole world underneath him. I mean, he called out Canelo even in the post fight press conference. It was insane. I mean, like Canelo's what 168 he's fighting in Billy in September. Low key, he would destroy Canelo, but we don't talk about that because he's my idol and shit. But still, like we've gone to a level where Benavidez has. I think for me personally, I think he's found his natural weight class to be in. I believe 200 is his best weight class because he didn't cut no weight. He said he felt good. He looked good. He performed A plus flying colors. He passed the test with flying colors, so you can't really say anything about that. And ultimately, I think 200 might be the move for him. I mean, if he goes to 175, he can go 175 and fight, well, Bivol, Beterbiev, Buatsi, maybe even Callum Smith, defend the WBC belt from him. However, I believe he should stay at 200. Maybe become undisputed. Noah McKellion's there. IBF is vacant. He could easily get those belts. And then maybe have an undisputed match off with Jaya Pataya if the time is right or if the occasion is right. I mean, Pataya for me is the only man under 200 that remotely that has a genuine 50-50 chance of Benavidez as of right now. I mean, Benavidez is big. He's a big man. He didn't look like it, but he's very, very big. And I believe that if he genuinely wanted to stay at cruiserweight, he would become a dominant force in that division. Potentially even moving up to heavyweight. I mean, the speed carries. It has to carry up to heavyweight. So that's my options for him. For Zurdo, though, you have to feel for him, man. I mean, he went up about 3 years ago, fought Joe Smith, then fought Arson for the WBA, fought Chris William Smith for the WBO, and then put a good performance for himself against Dorlicos. You have to feel for him because he was really the only one doing anything in that division. I mean, he was ducking out Pataya. But realistically, he was the only one doing anything in that division. You really have to feel for him because he spent a lot of time and effort in that division. And then he gets his belts taken away from someone with natural abilities. I mean, it's not even fair at the speed this man has. I mean, this man's speed is just insane. To move up to 200 and maintain that velocity is insane. Yo, hey, keep Canelo far away though from that man. Keep him far away, man. This is not 2021 no more. Benavidez is not a 168 pounder. We've been knowing that, but do not make that fight happen at 175. We do not want to see that fight happen. However, this day has been very, very eventful. It has been very impactful towards boxing fans all around the world. This is just my opinions and my afterthoughts. It was such an insane day. I mean, so much happened. Woke up at 4, watched the fight, then waited until around 8, watched the fights. Then Benavidez topped it off with a masterful performance. I believe that, what was it? There's also some controversy going around that supposedly he got an elbow in. I don't know if that's true. I tried to look at the replay. It looked like it was all clean. Supposedly he got an elbow in when he knocked out Ramirez. However, I don't think that's true, so it shouldn't really fucking matter at all. But anyway, that's my afterthoughts video. It's been an insane day. We want Benavidez off of Title 2027. That's what we want, or at least at the end of the year. That's what I want, at least. If Alpata is able to have a deal with Sufa. However, these are just my opinions. Thank you for watching. If you stayed to the very end, thank you. And goodbye.